All right, hello friends, it's Holly, your friendly neighborhood yoga teacher. As some of you know, I'll be making videos, relaxation, meditation, and yoga videos while people choose to social distance and quarantine during COVID-19 virus. So I'll be posting these videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I hope you can follow along. One of the requests I've gotten a lot is a yin class. For those of you who've never done yin, it's a mostly seated class where we'll do long holds of postures. So we'll hold postures for like a couple minutes at a time. And a lot of times in yin there's props, but I know a lot of us don't have like yoga props lying around the house, right? So you can just have like a towel nearby is good, or even a couple towels that you can always use to like buffer the body. Yeah, and I'll kind of talk you through some stuff. I'm not sure of the perfect angle for this video, so I'm trying it head on for now, but I'll talk us through stuff as well as showing you. So we're gonna start lying down in what's called Savasana or corpse pose. I'm gonna have my head towards you and just lie down the long way on your mat. All right. So you're just gonna lie down. I recommend having heels close together, toes fall open, arms down by your sides. And you can close your eyes here. Take a few slow breaths. Start inhaling through the nose. The first breath, exhale through the mouth. Noticing any tension in the body. Take a slow inhale through the nose. And an exhale through the mouth. Just releasing the day. One more time, slow inhale through the nose. And a slow exhale through the mouth. From here on out, I encourage you to breathe in and out through the nose to the best of your ability. And we'll just start, if you haven't already closed your eyes, close your eyes. And we'll just start with a couple minutes just lying down, noticing any lingering impressions from the day. Of course, any nervousness, tension. A lot of us have, kind of new schedules, new work stuff. And this is just a time to set all of that aside. As you start to sink into the floor, feel the floor holding you up. Relax your shoulders, your chest, your jaw. Let your head be heavy. Relax your glutes, your hips, your thighs. And continue to breathe slowly through the nose. As the body stills, start to notice any passing thoughts. One metaphor I always like is, thoughts are a little bit like clouds. There's different types of clouds. Some clouds pass really quickly. Some kind of hang heavy over us for a while. Some are storm clouds, right? Sometimes there's cloudy days, or, if you live in Seattle where I'm from, there's cloudy months. But the thing to remember about the mind, about you, is you are not the clouds. You are the sky. So rather than attaching to these passing thoughts, these feelings, these clouds, just let them go on their way. Still just noticing, checking in. I suspect a lot of us have a lot kind of downloaded in our minds and our hearts. Just being still is a nice way to let that go. Here we're going to do a square breath. So you're going to inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow exhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this breathing on your own for another minute. You can make it a little longer if you like. You can even picture a box or a square in your mind. As you inhale, a line traveling up the left side of the square. As you hold the breath, the line traveling to the right. As you exhale, line traveling down. As you hold the exhale, line traveling to the left, meeting with the other line, a square. Another moment in silence, breathing slowly. All right, we'll start with banana pose, because who doesn't love bananas? High in potassium, good for you. So for banana pose, you're gonna make your body like a banana as it sounds. Might be a little bit hard to see, but you can follow along to my words. So we're gonna start, bring both your feet to the right side of your mat, and then both of your arms to the right side of your mat. So from a bird's eye view, you start to look like the curve in a banana. You can have your head in the center or maybe dropping to the right. You can cross one foot over the other. Maybe notice what feels different. Left foot over right foot over left foot. You can have your feet side by side. Same thing with the hands. You can have them interlaced or just relaxed. And we're gonna hold here for 3 minutes. As we hold again, just noticing the impressions of the day, any lingering tension. Notice what kind of a stretch you're feeling on the left side of the body, any compression on the right torso. Is the neck relaxed? Is the jaw tensing? One of the things about yin is it's a good restorative way to stretch the body, but sometimes when we hold still, stuff can kind of come up, yeah? So if stuff starts to come up for you, you're not alone. If you're like, what are these yogis talking about? This is crazy. All I'm thinking is my, fantasy baseball draft. That's okay too. But just know if stuff starts to come up, it's normal. Continue to breathe slowly through the nose. In yin, you want to get a sustainable stretch. So if how you are right now is like a little too intense, know that you can back off. And if you don't really feel any stretch right now, you can always go a little deeper, bringing, hands and feet a little bit more to the right side, hips a little more to the left. Still breathing slowly through the nose. I'm right here with you. About 30 seconds longer for anyone wondering. I always like to tell you how much time. I know I like to have, right? We all want to be in control. I think that's part of what's going on in our world, why all of this new stuff is stressful. We want to be in control. We want to know, how long things will take. So I'll just tell you just a couple seconds longer. Yeah, let that be your control for the day. Still breathing through the nose. And as you're ready, slowly return back to center. The arms go down by your sides, puddle pose. Take a slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the nose. We'll do the other side. So for this one, bring your feet to the left side of your mat. Hands to the left side of your mat, like a nice little banana. We'll do 3 minutes here. We're not symmetrical. If nobody's told you, it's actually one of my favorite things about humans. We are not butterflies. We are perfectly imperfect. And this side might feel noticeably different, right? Especially if you have, I don't know, like a shoulder injury or hips or knees, something like that. So again, the stretch, the intensity of the stretch is up to you, but you do want it to be something sustainable. Remember, you can cross one foot over the other. You can, have hands a little interlaced or just relax side by side. Same thing with the feet. If you feel a whole bunch, you can ease off, so it's a little bit of a longer banana. And if you don't feel much, you can, get a little bit deeper, bringing hands and feet a little bit more to the left side of the room. Again, just maybe noticing, does this feel different? Does it feel the same? Is it easier to keep your feet together? I know on this side, I have to cross my feet. Carry a lot of tension on the right side of my body, my right shoulder, my right hip. I probably should stop carrying this big purse on the right side of my body, but I don't know about you, but it's actually harder for me to carry a purse on the left side for whatever reason. So that's, my internal monologue right now. I wonder what yours is. We'll hold in silence and breath. Just remember I'm here with you, breathing through the nose. About 30 seconds left. Noticing how the right side body's starting to open up, how you're breathing. Still breathing slowly, relaxing the forehead, the jaw, relaxing the belly, the thighs. All right, it's 3 minutes. Slowly return back to the middle of your mat and towel. Are you still with me? Checking this is still recording. Okay, great. So puddle pose or savasana. Let your arms and head relax heavy by your side. Next, we'll do a kind of like a butterfly on our back. So for this one, you're going to bring your knees out to the side and bend your legs. So right knee to the right, left knee to the left, bend your legs so your feet come close together. Now this one can be a little bit intense. I can show you, I'm going to turn to face you for a moment. So if lying down in this absolutely doesn't work for you, remember you can do it seated, but I would encourage you to try to lie down for it. For me, it's pretty easy for me to sit with my knees open. But if it's really intense for you, you can roll up your towels so there's extra padding, under your knees, right? So you don't go quite as far. And again, you would lie on your back. Just for the sake of being a lady, I'm going to turn back so my head faces you, but know that you're lying with your feet together, and the feet can be a little farther out or closer in, depending on how deep of a stretch you want to get. Okay, again, we'll hold here for 3 minutes. Ooh, so right away, I feel this in my right hip where I have a lot of tightness. I don't know about you. Again, too much of a stretch is too much. One thing I say in yoga, too much is too much, but too little is too little. And you want to find the sweet spot. In yin in particular, I would err on the side of doing a little bit less. Yeah, so, you can bring your feet like a little bit further away from your pelvis if it's feeling like a little too much, right? And just lighten the stretch. You can, roll up those towels at any time. Some people say that we, store a lot of emotion in the hips. Some people actually say, like in yoga, when we do these hip openers, they cry. And I think I practiced yoga for the first time when I was like 15 and was like, oh, I don't want, I don't know. I don't want to be a hippie. That sounds so weird. I don't believe it. I don't believe that you can cry from opening your hips. But, sometimes it's like you don't really understand things unless you've experienced them. So again, maybe this just feels like a hip opener, but maybe it's like starting to release some, some stress from the body. And sometimes that can come out in weird ways, whether it's through like emotions or nervousness or like sudden thoughts. So again, just noticing as these clouds pass through the mind and just noticing, but not attaching. Sometimes when stuff comes up, not just in yoga, but in regular life, we either like ignore it, like, oh, I'm not sad, I'm not sad, I'm not sad. We pretend that we're not feeling something, or we like attach deeply to it, like, I am sad. It's part of, who I am. And I encourage you instead, I think yoga helps us to find a middle way of, acknowledging thoughts, acknowledging tightness in the body, right? Acknowledging our strengths and our weakness physically, but also like mentally, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. But just noticing without attaching. Yeah, again, letting the thoughts, anything that comes up, be more of a cloud than the sky. You are the sky. Continue to breathe. Arms still by your sides. Another thing when we get uncomfortable is sometimes we like fidget a little bit. So let the arms be relaxed. Still breathing. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through the nose. All right. It's 3 minutes there. So to carefully come out of this, I encourage you can, place your hands on your outer thighs and use your arms to bring your knees back up. Woo-hoo. And then let the legs relax down. Another puddle pose, still breathing. Maybe, roll out your hips, right, left a couple times. You can bend your knees and move, knees to the right, knees to the left. Little windshield wiper action. Okay, back to puddle pose. Next, we're gonna do a spine twist, again, lying on the back. So you can just listen. You're going to bend your right leg up. You're going to place your left hand on your right knee. You're going to roll your right knee to the left side of your torso. Okay. Again, maybe the knee touches the floor easily, maybe not. You can place a towel or multiple towels under your knee if you need a little extra support there, or you can just let it relax down. Okay. Try to keep 2 shoulders on the floor. You have the option to just keep your head on the floor, looking towards the ceiling. Of course, you can keep your eyes closed. You can also look to the right. You can stay here the whole time. This might feel quite intense. You can also bend your left leg and hook onto your left foot with your right hand. Okay, we'll stay here for 3 minutes. Again, just noticing how this maybe feels in the body. Another thing I like about yoga is that, if you notice tightness in your right hip in the last posture, see how your hip feels in this one, and noticing, what postures come easy. You might be going, none of these are easy, that's okay, but, what postures feel, like accessible? What postures are tough? Is there a posture where your knee feels great and another one where not so much? And you can start to connect dots, and you'll actually notice, the interconnected nature of the body, right? Again, if this is a little too intense, you can, back off a little bit, or you can go a little deeper, maybe bringing the knee closer to the floor, maybe grabbing that left foot, maybe keeping it down. Still breathing through the nose. Think about the chest opening towards the ceiling, heart opening. Got another minute left, still breathing. Notice if thoughts passing through the mind are picking up or slowing down. My hope for you is by the end, maybe they'll have slowed down just a little bit. Again, there's a lot to download, a lot to unload. When we just take some time for ourselves slowly, it gets a little bit more manageable. So we'll start to release out of these. I recommend releasing through exhale breaths. So if you're holding, sorry, I've been timing this on my watch if you're wondering why I'm looking at my watch. So if you're holding your left foot in your right hand, slowly release the left leg back down. And then you can take your left hand to your right knee. I'm going to put my right hand on my right hip and slowly roll back to center. Right knee down. Roll right and left. And then take another moment in puddle pose, letting the body release onto the floor. Letting the floor hold you up. Still breathing. We'll do the other side. So you're going to bend your left leg. Place your right hand on your left knee. And slowly roll your left knee to the right side of your body. Again, you can use towels to prop up the knee. Ideally, you're going to keep your two shoulders on the floor. You can stay here. You can also bend your right leg and grab your right foot with your left hand. Try to keep two shoulders on the floor, chest open towards the ceiling. You can keep your head flat on the floor, or look to the left, maybe left ear on the floor. Again, just noticing difference. What's right for one side of the body might not be right for the other side of the body. The same way that what's right for me isn't what's right for you. And hey, here's the other thing. What's right for you today in this moment might not be right for you tomorrow. And in fact, arguably, that's one of the reasons why we want to check in, right? And do this yoga every day. Just noticing how things are changing, how things are staying the same. So, maybe on the other side you could grab your foot, but on this one, no way. Or maybe the other side, like barely twisting, was like super intense, and on this side you don't feel much. Maybe they feel the exact same. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. It just is what it is, yeah? Still relaxing, still breathing. Is there any tension in the body that isn't serving you right now? See if you can, maybe release through the neck, the hips, the perineum. Relax your jaw and breathe slowly. Got another minute here. This is quite intense. Again, you can back off a little bit. If you don't feel much, you can go a little deeper. If it's just right, good for you, Goldilocks. Stay right where you are. Still breathing. All right. When we're ready, we'll release back to center. So if you're holding your right foot with your left hand, relax that first. Exhale. Okay. Then when you're ready, you're going to slowly through the exhale, roll back to center using your hands. Left foot on the floor, and then left leg down, arms down, puddle pose. You can roll right, left. Whew. Try to sink a little deeper into the floor. Slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the nose. Okay, we're going to roll off to the side. So as you're ready, bend both legs so your feet are on the floor, knees bent. And then carefully at your own pace, roll to the left. Good. You can stay here a moment. Great. When you're ready, we're going to roll onto our stomach. This next one is called Sphinx pose. So you're going to have your elbows and hands flat. I hope you can see why it's called Sphinx pose, right? It's like we're going to Egypt. And now you might need to experiment with placing your hands a little bit in front of you, maybe a little bit back, but I would definitely encourage, I don't think you want your elbows like behind your shoulders. Yeah, it's a little bit different than Cobra. So elbows a little in front of the shoulders, shoulders down, chest up. We're going to hold here for 3 minutes. For me, it's a little bit easier to hold still on my back. This one actually often kind of gets a little intense in my shoulders, so I'm right here with you, but we are trying to find stillness. So feet are relatively close together, maybe toes together, heels fall open a little bit. You don't have to have like a super strong lower body, but here we're opening through the chest. It's also a nice bend to the back, especially, maybe this week, like how you're working from home, or if if you're lucky enough to have a job right now, maybe you're sitting a different way, or you're used to having a standing desk and now you're sitting, or used to sitting and now you're having a standing desk, or you're running after your kids. And Just moving the back is really important. Yeah, and the cool thing about back bending is you're not just like bending your spine and waking up the nerves in the spine, you're also kind of stretching through the chest, the front of the body. All these back bends too are really great for all my service industry friends out there. Sending all my love to you guys. All these back bends I cannot recommend enough, especially if you bartend and are used to leaning over wells and stuff to mix drinks. Yoga back bending really saved my life when I bartended for 8 years. So just postures are good. Still breathing. Noticing any tension, any desire to fidget. I'm going to roll my shoulders back and lift my chest up. And again, maybe you get a deeper backward bend by walking the hands back more or a little more forward, easing off, but still just breathing. Sphinxes are traditionally full of riddles. And one of the cool things about yoga, one of my teachers, Michael Joel Hall, says this a lot, is yoga provides the answers, but you get to ask the questions, right? So you get to be, your own riddler. So I'm telling you, or suggesting for you, how to do this posture, Sphinx pose. But the questions you're asking yourself, how does this feel in my body? What's coming up? Those you get to come up with your own. Yeah. Okay, it's 3 minutes. Great. When you're ready, we're going to lower down. So I encourage you to have your elbows out. You can either lie, with your forehead just in your palms, okay? You can look to the right or the left. And we'll just hold here and release the neck, the chest. Let the neck lengthen. Send deep belly breaths in and out through your nose. Wonderful. All right. You're going to push yourself up. For this, we're going to do a variation of Janu Shirshasana. So in the style of yoga that I traditionally teach, this is head to knee pose, and we, round the spine and try to touch the head and knee together. In this one, I want you to have right leg out, left leg in, 2 legs at a 90-degree angle. So you want to keep your hips square. Notice if your legs are like way wide apart, try to keep the hips square. You should make an L. But for this one, my friends, we're just going to fold forward a little bit. So again, maybe at first you start with your hands close to your feet. If that feels all right, you can walk them forward. You can do like the thinking yogi, the sad yogi. You can keep your hands here. And again, you can also, it's a little bit extra padding here, to come up. But you want to feel the back round a bit. You don't need to force your chin into your chest, but let the head be a little heavy. And this is one of those ones where, throughout the posture, throughout these 3 minutes, maybe you'll go a little deeper or maybe you'll ease off. And I just want to remind you that there's no right answer. I always say this in yoga class when I'm teaching in person. There's nothing you have to prove to yourself, to me, to anybody else. If you're doing this at home, there's literally nobody else to impress, right? So if you need to be here, that's great, be here. If this feels good, wonderful. If you want to go deeper, Still breathing through the nose. Noticing any sensations. I feel a good stretch on my right hamstring. Got another minute left. Get the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe let your head drop. Nice stretch through the neck. Okay, as you're ready, take your time, slowly push back up. I'm gonna do a puddle pose. So this time my feet will face you. Ooh, sorry, gross. And you're just gonna lie down for a second. That's unattractive. All right, you're just gonna lie down for a second, trying to get my feet out of your view. Just sinking into the floor. Let the floor hold you up. Okay, we're gonna like to roll to the left, sit back up. Okay, and we'll do the other side, Janu Shirshasana. So this time left leg out, right leg in. And again, this side might be different, and that's okay. You can have your hands here, here, slowly walking forward. You can let the head drop, shoulders down, a little bit of a rounded spine. So I will tell you, I just realized one interesting thing for those of you who are interested in this, which might be none of you, but I've kind of broken a rule here, a general guideline about yin, which is that I did the right side of the body before the left side of the body. For those of you not super familiar with yin, obviously you're experiencing its long holds of postures. Yin obviously comes from, yin and yang. So the yang or yang side of the body tends to be solar, masculine. It's the right side of the body. The yin side tends to be lunar, feminine. It's the left side of the body. So in the style of yoga that I primarily teach, like 26-2 hot yoga, we always start with the right side, the sun side, and then do the left side. But in yin, traditionally you start with the left side. So that's part of why we've been rolling off to the left. Now there's nuances in this. Some people say, oh, I roll off to the right to, even out the energy, stuff like that. But whether you're like, okay, I just want to get a good stretch or not, it's okay. So we'll hold here for a little longer, maybe going deeper. And the other thing to notice halfway through this is like maybe what felt really good in the first 30 seconds or minute doesn't feel right anymore. And you need to like back off or go further. And boy, this is a life lesson, right? So, have you ever been in a relationship and the first month is great and you're like, this is amazing. And then at a certain point, it doesn't feel right anymore. And that's okay, right? Like things change. Or like, when I went to Harry Potter World and was so excited to get butterbeer, it's so sweet and I really wanted to like it. In the first sip, I was like, oh, I'm having butterbeer. Couldn't finish it, couldn't do it, had to throw it out, right? So maybe rather than, throwing out the posture, maybe you just like ease up a little bit. Maybe you go a little deeper. Do notice though, and this all kind of ties together, is it impossible to find a little bit of stillness? It's one thing to need to, ease up, or go a little deeper. But it is impossible just to sit still, yeah? You do want to find a little bit of stillness. Sometimes we're so scared of being still that we'll do anything to move, right? Make up a, oh darn, my hip hurts. Oh, that's, that's the doorbell. But you can be still. You can be with yourself. Nothing you have to prove. Just noticing, just breathing. Take another 30 seconds here. All right, as you're ready, slowly walk yourself back up. Again, you can turn around, lie on your back for Savasana. You can just lie down like this. I'm gonna lie the other way so my feet aren't, directly in your face. Take a slow inhale through the nose. Slow exhale through the nose. All right, as you're ready, bend the knees, roll to the left, push back up. Okay, we're gonna do what in yin is called screaming swan. I also think it's similar to a pose called pigeon pose. So for this one, you're gonna start knees and hands, okay? This is a good hip opener if you have sciatica or sciatic nerve pain, right? This is your posture. So you're gonna bend one leg, okay? And maybe this is enough. Check back behind you. You can keep the right knee bent here, okay? Make sure the ankle, knee, and hip are in line. So notice if your foot's like way to the right, you wanna keep it in line. And slowly over time, you're gonna lengthen that right leg back. So one day the hips are on the floor. If that's easy, like one day the shin is parallel. Can also, again, stay upright. This is a good one to use blankets for, yeah? Like you can actually roll the blanket under your hip so there's padding there, okay? And I'm gonna show you from the side real quick as well, just so you can see what it looks like there. So from the side, okay, again, first it's here, maybe here, slowly over time. Yeah. Just squaring the hips, so right hip forward. Okay. Now, you can stay upright, okay? You can sink down. Again, you can do like the thinking yogi. You can put your hands down. And if you are like, there is no way I can do this, there's an alternative on your back. So I'll show you that real quick too if screaming swan is a little bit too screaming for you. You can lie on your back, okay? It's called figure four. So you'll just bend your left leg on top of your right thigh, okay? And then you can hold on, and you should still feel this stretch on the outer left thigh. You can even interlock your fingers and pull down on the knee. So there's lots of options. Yeah, you can do it on your back, figure four, or you can do this nice screaming swan. Again, too much is too much. Too little is too little, but especially for in, treat yourself. Err on the side of like a little bit less. And then we'll just hold here and breathe. I'm right here with you. Still breathing. Another minute left. ready, we're gonna slowly come up. Again, I recommend exhaling to come up. If you're in figure 4, just bend the legs down. Otherwise, slowly come up. And again, lie down for Savasana for a moment, or puddle pose. Just letting the floor hold you up. You can roll knees and hips right and left. Just noticing if anything tensed up in the posture. That might be a sign to do a little less. Okay, do the other side. So bend your legs, roll to the left, come on up. Okay, we'll do the other side. So again, you can start, we'll start like this in tabletop, knees bent, okay. Bend your knee to the top corner of your mat. You can have your heel close to your hip. Check that your ankle, knee, and hip are in line so your foot's not winging way to the right or the left. And you're gonna slowly ease into this. Again, this side might feel way different, just something to notice. And if you're like, no way in hell, that's okay. We've got figure 4 on the back as well. So you just bend the other leg up. You still wanna get that stretch. Again, it's great for sciatic nerve. Again, interlock the fingers, have them down by your sides, holding the knee. You can even have the foot on the floor, and slowly over time, you're gonna bring the hip closer. No, which side is it? Another thing I want to just address, when we talk about yin and yang, or in yoga, another way we put it is ha and tha. So when you practice hatha yoga, it's sun moon yoga or sun moon yoke, a union of opposites. When we talk about yin yang, sun moon, hatha, masculine, feminine, lunar, solar, that's a binary, and I'm very much aware that we live in a non-binary world. So, when we talk about black and white, there's shades of gray, right? When we talk about sun and darkness, light and darkness, right? There's also beautiful sunsets and dusk and, cloudy days and stuff like that. So I just remind you, beyond these binaries of yin and yang, maybe there's a little bit something you can dig into there as well, just about what doesn't feel quite, right side, left side, but just something in the middle, or just something you're noticing in the body or the mind. Again, you can always ease up if this is getting intense. You can put a towel under your hip, okay, to relax that there. You can get a little deeper. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Still breathing through the nose. Take about 30 more seconds here. And as you're ready, we're going to slowly release. Take your time. Turn around. Celeste. Take a slow inhale through your nose. A slow exhale through your nose. You can stay lying on your back. I'm going to sit up. So So we're a little bit over the 50-minute mark here. If you're looking for a full hour of practice, I'm going to encourage you to either stay in this puddle pose on your back for 10 minutes, or another fun thing, if there's a wall nearby, you can lie down with your legs up the wall. So I don't have a wall, but I'll show you, it would look like this, right? And this is a great way you can just kind of let blood flow reverse, and it's great for kind of getting the back to be situated on the floor. Okay. You can also continue to lie on your back. And if you've got stuff to do, then you've got stuff to do. All right, so thank you guys for practicing with me today. Again, my name's Holly. I live in Washington, D.C. I work full-time at a yoga studio that's drastically reduced its hours. I plan on posting videos, meditation, relaxation, and yoga during the COVID thing. I want to remind you guys that the loving thing to do right now is to keep social distance from people and to take precautions. So thank you guys for doing that. Thank you not just for honoring yourself, but for honoring our bigger community, right? Even if you're somebody who has good immune system, like a lot of yogis do, we're not just doing this for ourselves. We're not just even doing this for people that we know or that we love who might be at risk, but really around the world, right? And trying to slow the curve, I should say, and stop the spread. So thank you guys again for practicing. This is free. This is my gift from me to you. If you feel inclined to donate, you can donate to me on Venmo or PayPal. I think it's at Holly Rochelle. I have to double check that. I'm so bad at this stuff. And I'll post it online too. Please share with your friends, and have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for practicing. Hope to talk to you soon.